A week before the wedding, I was in a restaurant pretending to care about the linen colors when a waitress I didn't recognize stopped me at the entrance. She brushed my sleeve with her hand, too purposeful to be an accident. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Hide behind the divider at the back," she said. "I don't have time to explain, but please trust me." I trusted her because there was something in her eyes that made it clear she was already running late. I slipped behind the divider, feeling calm and focused. 5 minutes later, everything clicked. I heard his laugh before his voice. It was a laugh I knew well. I'd heard it at 2 a.m. when we burned pasta and had conversations about kids we weren't ready for. I'd heard it when he proposed, his voice shaky and the ring quivering in his hand. But now it was softer, more intimate, like he'd done it 1,000 times. "I can't believe she still wants the window seat," he said. A woman laughed, but it wasn't me. She used the nickname I thought was just for the two of us. I leaned my forehead against the cool wood. And in that moment, I understood. This wasn't heartbreak. This was clarity. We'd met 5 years earlier in a parking lot during a storm. He gave me his jacket. I gave him my number. We built something slow and steady, like how trust is built when you're planning to keep it. He learned how I liked my coffee. I learned how he lied just enough to keep things easy. I ignored that part. Love teaches you how. When he proposed, he said, "Forever," as if it were a contract already signed. I believed him because it was easier than doubting when the future looked so perfect. But the signs were there, always quiet. His phone face down, more work trips. My questions softened, his answers grew sharper. I found nothing when I searched. That was the first real clue. Men who cheat leave breadcrumbs. Men who plan wipe the table clean. I didn't confront him. I don't do drama without a script. So, I watched from behind the divider. I watched him lean toward her. His hand found the small of her back, like it belonged there. She wore confidence like perfume, the kind that assumes it's already won. "This is perfect," she said. "No one will suspect a thing." I smiled, because she was right. No one had, except for the waitress. She passed by again, slipping a folded receipt into my hand. It had a time, a date, a room number, and one sentence written in pen: "You deserve the truth." That night, I didn't cry. Instead, I opened a new folder on my laptop and named it Inventory, Assets, Accounts, Shared Investments, Prenup Drafts. He thought I hadn't read closely. I called a lawyer the next morning. I framed it as curiosity. She framed it as survival. I dug through phone records, travel receipts, and expense reports. The patterns appeared. They always do. I met the waitress 2 days later. Her sister had dated him before me. He'd quietly ruined her. She saw the signs. She recognized him. She didn't want revenge. She wanted balance. I gave her both. I didn't cancel the wedding. I made it bigger. I moved funds carefully. Legally. I documented everything. I set traps only someone greedy would fall for. He took the bait every time. I let him believe he was winning. The confrontation came 3 days before the ceremony. I invited him back to the restaurant. Same table, same lighting. The divider stood like a silent witness. I told him I wanted to finalize the seating. He smiled, the same way he always did when he thought he was safe. I slid a folder across the table. Inside were photos, texts, timelines, and a copy of the prenup with highlighted clauses he'd ignored. His face shifted in stages. Confusion, fear, calculation. "You don't understand," he said. I did, completely. I told him the wedding was still happening, just not the way he thought it would. The day came. The guests arrived. The music played. The champagne flowed. At the altar, I took the microphone. I spoke calmly, clearly. No raised voices. No harsh words. I announced that the shared venue deposit was being donated to a foundation for women recovering from emotional abuse under his name. I announced that the marriage contract had been voided due to a breach before it was ever executed. I announced that the woman he loved was sitting in the third row, now realizing she had never been special, just scheduled. I watched the understanding hit him like a wave. Afterward, I passed the divider one last time. The waitress nodded, and balance was restored. I didn't feel angry. I felt precise. Betrayal is chaos. Revenge, when done right, is order. And in that moment, I was at peace like I had never been before.